Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the College of Arts and Science Annual Recognition Ceremony, honoring the graduates of 2018. Now enter the College of Arts and Science undergraduate degree students of 2018. The 2018 Master's Degree students from the College of Arts and Science. The distinguished faculty of the College of Arts and Science. Dr. Chris Makaroff, Dean of the College of Arts and Science, and members of the Platform Party. Please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem.
be seated. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the College of Arts and Science Recognition Ceremony. This is a wonderful time when we celebrate the accomplishments of so many people. It is also the time when we show our appreciation for the many people who have touched our lives in such profoundly important ways. This is a great day for the 1,353 College of Arts and Science bachelor's graduates, 165 master's graduates of the class of 2018. We are thrilled to acknowledge 59 of our graduates who are receiving 2 or more degrees, including 10 students who have earned both a bachelor's and a master's degree through our combined bachelor's-master's program. This is a special time when we get to recognize the many accomplishments of our students who have worked hard for 4 and sometimes, yes, 5 years to attain the worthy goal of a Miami education. During this time, you have accomplished much and made a lasting impact on the faculty and your fellow students. Before you leave Miami and head off to make your mark on the world, let's take a moment to celebrate your accomplishments tonight. Faculty, parents, families, friends, and all of our guests of our graduates, please join me in recognizing tonight's graduates. The class of 2018 is a very impressive one, and one that we will long remember. We have had the good fortune to spend the last 4 years with you, getting to know you and helping you to develop into the graduates that we are all very proud of. This past academic year, students of the College of Arts and Science have again distinguished themselves by receiving numerous prestigious awards as evidence of their accomplishments and successes. We don't have the time to recognize everyone's accomplishments, so let me name just a few. The CAS class of 2018 includes 3 Gilman International Scholars, 2 Astronaut Scholars, 2 Goldwater Scholars, a Harry S. Truman Scholar, 1 Jonah Jackson Goldman Memorial Prize winner, a record 8 Fulbright Scholars, plus 3 alternates. This is Miami's largest cohort of Fulbright offers ever. We also have 7 Provost Student Academic Achievement Award winners and 12 President's Distinguished Service Award winners. We are very proud of all of our students' accomplishments, and we thank you for choosing to pursue your education at Miami and be part of the College of Arts and Science. You have challenged each other, challenged your faculty, and made all of our lives more exciting and enjoyable. As a result of your efforts, we are graduating in a very fine class today. At this time, I would like to recognize several groups of people. First, we have 195 students who are graduating with distinction or honors. This information is in the back of your program. We have 110 students graduating with university honors and 85 with departmental honors. A total of 309 of our students are graduating with Latin honors. 182 are graduating cum laude, 79 magna cum laude, and 48 are graduating summa cum laude with a GPA of at least 3.95. With the students who are graduating cum laude, magna cum laude, summa cum laude, and those graduating with university or departmental honors, please stand for special recognition. Please be seated. Next, the families of our graduates deserve our special recognition for their unconditional support of our students. Would the parents, spouses, children, and families of the graduates please stand and receive our recognition and thanks for all of your support. Please be seated. Next are the people who have contributed so much to the education of our students, the distinguished faculty of Miami University. It is with great pride that I ask the faculty of the College of Arts and Science to stand and be recognized for their outstanding commitment to today's graduates. Please stand. Next, let me introduce our platform party. I will ask each person to stand in turn to be recognized by the audience. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. On my right, Scott Hess, a 1989 English creative writing alum and our esteemed guest speaker. Next, Jagdish Bhatti, member of the Board of Trustees, a strong supporter of the College of Arts and Science, and a proud father of one of today's graduates. Pat Haney, Professor of Political Science and Associate Dean. Dr. Ian Yaboa, Professor of Geography and another proud father of one of our graduates today. Dr. Herbert Yeager, Professor of Physics. Dr. Linda Marchant, Professor of Anthropology. And Hannah Shepard, a graduating senior majoring in political science. On my left, Dr. James Orris, University Distinguished Professor, Associate Provost for Research, and Dean of the Graduate School. Max Leverage, a graduating senior majoring in environmental earth science with co-majors in both environmental science and sustainability, and today's student speaker. Dr. Renee Bernstein. Dr. Renee Bernstein, Professor of History and Associate Dean. It's a running joke. I can never pronounce her name. Dr. Steve Wright, Professor of Statistics, Associate Dean. Ted Peters, Assistant Dean. Carol Olesen, Director of the American Culture and English Program, and Dr. Steve Lippman, Associate Professor of Sociology and Department Chair. This comprises our platform party. Finally, I would also like to recognize and thank our announcer and pianist today, Treva Boardman, our soloist, Tiffany Turkovich, and our two American Sign Language interpreters, Danielle Cox and Mike Cox. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our student commencement speaker. Mac Leverage is a graduating senior from Dublin, Ohio, majoring in environmental earth science along with co-majors in environmental science and sustainability. Next year, as a student in the combined bachelor's master's program in environmental science, he plans to get his master's as well as his graduate certificate in geographic information sciences. Max is a former Associated Student Government Senator, a College of Arts and Science student ambassador, a member of the Dean's Student Advisory Council, and a member of the University Undergraduate Research Committee. He also founded a campus environmental appreciation club and won an honorable mention last year for the Goldwater Scholarship. On top of all that, Max has been working with Professor Mike Brzezinski since his first week at Miami on a research project investigating the link between deep wastewater injection and human-induced earthquakes here in Ohio. Max has already given over a dozen presentations on his work, both locally and nationally, and is co-author on a paper that was just published this past March in the Journal of Geophysical Research. Max credits his mentor, Mike Brzezinski, for providing him with many of these experiences. And likewise, Mike has stated that Max's research progress so early in his college career places him ahead of all other undergraduate researchers he's known. Max believes everyone should take at least one class in environmental science, saying, not only is it interdisciplinary, but it is also important when you hear news about climate change, species extinction, or algae blooms. It's one of the classes you need to understand what is happening in the world. Max plans to earn his PhD with the ultimate goal of doing research involving endangered species and identifying ways to protect them. Organizations like the International Union for Conservation of Nature or the United Nations Environment Program are a couple of his potential career destinations. Regardless of where he heads after concluding his work here at Miami, we know that Max will find tremendous success in helping enlighten the world about nurturing and protecting our environment. Please join me in welcoming Mac Leverage.
All right. Thank you. Good evening. I just want to start off by saying thank you. The Dean's Office for inviting me here to speak tonight, professors for pushing us each day to achieve our full potential, staff for making Miami feel like home, friends for always having our backs through thick and thin, and most importantly, families for giving us the support without which who knows how many of us would be here today. When Ted first asked me to speak to you, I thought, this is great. Then as it set in, I thought, oh crap, what I just agreed to? Then as any person tasked with giving a speech would do, I immediately started Googling ideas and watching YouTube videos of the best speeches of all time. But don't worry, I eventually got sidetracked watching Good Mythical Morning, so you won't have to sit here for 7 minutes listening to me go through countless cliches. So what am I going to talk about? If you ask any of my friends, they can tell you that I've been doing research since I arrived on campus. So I'm going to talk about something I'm familiar with, something all of you have probably learned at some point in your lives, whether it was for one of your captivating Miami Plan classes, or if it was all the way back in elementary school. I'm going to talk about the scientific method, but with a little twist. First, you start with a question. It's the basis for everything that follows. Think back several years. Out of nowhere, you were called into a small room for the dreaded talk. Now, I'm not talking about the birds and the bees. I'm talking about when your guidance counselor asks you, so Billy, where are you going to college after you graduate? And if you were me, you had absolutely no idea. So you start your background research. This could either be just Googling the cheapest schools, seeing where you can get in with your ACT or SAT scores, or maybe you're feeling confident and looking for the best school in your subject. Then you decide to go on college visits, where you learn Robert Frost once said that Miami is the most beautiful campus that ever there was, or that Miami is one of 4 schools that have graduated both a US president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And who knows, this might have been what convinced you to come to Miami. With that, you have made your hypothesis. I think Miami is the best school for me. So you apply, you wait to hear back, and I feel it's safe to assume you're all accepted. But then again, you know what they say about assumptions. And some of you might just be here because you like to get dressed up in red robes and sit on converted basketball stadium floors with 2,000 of your closest friends. Now comes the fun part, the experiment. You come in freshman year, join every club, brush every fraternity and sorority, and even head uptown on the occasional Saturday afternoon for some coffee. You suffer through the all-nighters where you and your friends order insomnia at 2 a.m. You accept the challenge laid down by the professor who says, this isn't an assignment you can do the night before, by starting it the night before it's due. And you sit through all the lectures, or almost all the lectures, where you end up paying more attention to the cute girl in front of you rather than how the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Then you sit down and analyze the data. Unless you've transferred somewhere else, all of you are pretty happy here at Miami, or at least happy enough to be here today. Usually, the first time this comes up is when those senior surveys we never got ask you all these deep questions about your experience. But what did you really get out of Miami? Well, for starters, you have lifelong friends, people you might stay in touch with long into that thing called adulthood, and stories to tell your children to make them jealous of how wild you were in college. On top of that, regardless of what your piece of paper says that you're qualified to do something says, you've gained a liberal education. It's that thing where you tell your employers you have experience in something just because you've had one class in it. But it has also added countless tools to your toolbox to help you in future endeavors. Above all else, you've gained the invaluable skill of critical thinking. You're able to think about complex issues and decide your own opinions on it. No more Wikipedia telling you to believe that the moon landing was just the movie magic of some Miami alum. Lastly comes the conclusion. You've made it, and congratulations. But in all honesty, whether we want to believe it or not, Miami has helped us grow into the independent and well-prepared adults sitting here today. If you had asked me 2 years ago to stand up in front of 2,000 graduates and their families, or even a class of 20 people, I would have laughed and just walked away. But here I am. Whether or not you enjoy the speech is beside the point, but because of the experiences I've had here, I'm doing things I would have never imagined, and the journey only starts here. With any good study, you set yourself up for future studies, be it grad school, law school, med school, a career at your dream job, or the job that sets you up to become CEO of Chipotle or Speaker of the House. But where do we stand on our hypothesis? Being here today, I feel it's safe to say your hypothesis holds true, that Miami turned out to be the best school for you. And whether or not you realize it, you now have the skills to go forth and succeed beyond your wildest dreams at whatever you put your mind to. So with that, my fellow graduates, congratulations. And by no means for the last time, love and honor.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Max. We wish you the very best. And now I have the great pleasure of welcoming Scott Hess, our 2018 guest speaker. Scott, as I said, is a 1989 Miami graduate with a Bachelor of Arts in English and Creative Writing. He serves as a Chief Marketing Officer at Spark Foundry in Chicago, Illinois, one of the world's largest media agencies. Apart from overseeing brand and working with clients like Taco Bell and Starbucks, Scott continues to study, write, and speak about generational theory, the field of sociology that aims to understand how people born around the same time share common attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. Joining Scott here tonight with his parents, Tom and Roma Hess, and their dear friends. Actually, Chuck and Marty are not here tonight, but we miss them. Scott's wife and his 2 sons, I'm told, are occupied with their baseball obligations in Chicago, but they're also sending their best wishes. So in a recent interview, Scott said that although Miami wasn't initially on the top of his list, Scott, he quickly fell in love with Miami when he discovered Miami's creative writing program. He knew he was home. Back then, he says he would rather attend a writing workshop than do just about anything else. I think from his speech, you're going to hear there were other things he liked to do. Scott remembers having a good time at Miami, but also being inspired by some of his teachers and honing his communication skills. He told us about American Studies class he had in which the professor pushed every student to think hard about why they chose a position on a topic, and then made sure they were prepared to defend their choice. Scott says he basically drilled it into us that in life you can't be on the fence all the time. I remember the power of seeing that visually week after week, where he would not allow us to take a position that we couldn't defend. Personally, I found this to be a particularly interesting anecdote because I'd like to point out that Scott is known for a TED Talk in San Francisco he gave several years ago called Millennials, Who They Are and Why We Hate Them. I believe he might just have a lot to defend when he takes a podium to address a crowd of about 1,500 millennials in the next couple of minutes. No pressure, Scott.
If I take the podium.
If he takes the podium, okay. After graduating from Miami with his creative writing degree, Scott moved to Chicago with about $200 in his pocket and all of his stuff all of his stuff in moving boxes, calling his career a series of improvisational zigzags. He wasn't sure what to do next, so he took on small jobs, painting houses, setting up banquets at hotels, and working as a messenger for a law firm. His big break came when a board member at the Chicago nonprofit liked the work he did as a volunteer and helped him to land an interview for a proofreading position at Accenture. Scott's passion for communicating has given him the opportunity to work on the Truth anti-smoking campaign, to give more than 600 speeches nationwide, including that infamous TED Talk in San Francisco. Make sure you check it out on YouTube. It really is a great TED Talk. Scott ultimately zigzagged his way to Spark Foundry in 2011, back when it was only a 65-person media agency. Today, it spans 65 countries and employs more than 3,500 professionals. Scott credits Miami for helping him learn to communicate effectively and fulfill his passion for it. He says whether it's writing or delivering a speech or simply being able to lead a meeting with clarity and precision, my writing degree prepared me to stand out from the background and become someone who other people seek out in business. Scott has employed a hitchhiking metaphor, looking back at his career path. You just try to head in a good direction, he says, and when that ride ends, you jump on another ride heading in the direction that you want to end up in. With each successive job, each successive ride, just try and get closer to your final destination. Well, here we are in Miami in the College of Arts and Science. We are all very proud, certainly proud of Scott, and grateful that he has chosen to hitch his ride to be with us here tonight. It is my great honor to introduce Scott Hess, our guest speaker. Please join me in welcoming Scott to the podium.
Wow. This is about the most exciting thing I think I've ever done. I hope you guys all get a chance to be the graduation speaker someday. I need to set the record straight quickly. My TED Talk is an 18-minute love letter to millennials. The reason we hate them is because we're jealous of them because they're better than us. So how do you like that? We have a very mischievous dean here, apparently. So I was assigned this speech at the beginning of the semester by the dean, but I only started writing it last night. Does anybody know that feeling at all? You're gonna have nightmares about it forever. I'm an unlikely graduation speaker, but truth be told, I've been writing and rewriting this speech for the last 2 or 3 months. The thing is, I am supremely frightened to be here. Sorry, I'm honored to be here is the word that I was looking for. Good evening and thank you, Dean Macroft. Good evening to the rest of my fellow robe-wearing impresarios on the stage. I am told that it is a Miami faculty tradition to be entirely naked under these robes. So I'm in. All right, I feel like you guys are helping me. I like it. Good evening to my friends and family who are here, who supported me forever. Would not be here without you. There's the quavery voice. It'll come in a couple of times here. And good evening and good day also to my friends who will someday watch this speech on YouTube to see if I screwed it up. And finally, good evening to the all-important parents, relatives, and friends of the real stars of our evening, the sea of red. You guys, you giant, beautiful bunch of college kids. Look at you guys, you sons and daughters of Miami. Congratulations on getting here. You did it. My fellow Miami grads of all ages, we go together like love and honor, like bagel and deli, like green and beer. Let's hear it for us, yes, us, we. Because despite my gray, thinning hair and my obviously simmering dad bod, tonight I get to feel like one of you again, and I really appreciate it. College, college, college. Yeah, let's do it. Come on, college, college. Let's just go uptown right now and call this thing off. Let's go. Not quite yet. The dean told me I got to go through the rest. We are a family, we Miami men and women, and we will remain a family long after this evening, and in ways that many of you can scarcely imagine. What I'm trying to say is, and it's a little awkward, but I'm actually your real father, all of you. And I want you all to come live with me in Chicago once this is over with. It's gonna be fun. So that's not actually true, but we are all related in a way. Several years after I left Oxford, I married a Miami girl, Eileen, who's watching my kids play baseball right now. I happened to meet her in Chicago at a bar. We have 2 sons now. Our oldest is named CJ. And our younger son is named Mikey, and he's named after 2 of my roommates, Mike Yearling and Michael Walter, as far as they know. And they're both over here right now. Let's hear from Michael and Mike. What I want you guys to know is your Miami experience is not simply what's happened to you here in Oxford during your college years. It becomes part of you. It travels with you when you leave here, like the tattoo you got freshman year on spring break. In Chicago, where I live now, my CEO and friend Chris Booth is a Miami grad. The guy who built my house 25 years ago, Bob Burke, is a Miami grad. And the woman who let me sleep on her floor when I moved to Chicago is a Miami grad, and she's also here, Lorene Strasser over there. After Oxford, Chicago may be the best Miami town in America. We have our own bagel and deli there. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Our bagel and deli is called Chicago Bagel Authority. It was started 25 years ago by my go-getter friend Al Lewis, and it's owned today by the very unique Greg Gibbs. They're both Miami grads. My mouth's dry. And if you're hungover on a Sunday morning, you can go up to uptown in Chicago and get a chip special or a Crunch and Munch. It's terrific. If you don't go to Chicago, no matter where you settle, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Detroit, St. Louis, New York, LA, or parts in between, once you've left campus, your heart will skip a beat every time you see a Miami bumper sticker or luggage tag or sweatshirt. Of course, I want to warn you guys in advance that automatically asking that person, what year did you graduate, quickly becomes depressing. It was only 30 short years ago that I sat right where you are now, praying as you are, that our graduation speaker, whose name escapes me just as mine will eventually quickly escape all of you, would shut their pie hole so I could get along to dinner with my family, by which I mean to beers with my friends. Of course, unlike 30 years ago, you guys all do have cell phones. If you get bored, please feel free. I would say, do it. Start up a game with words with friends, with your business school grad friends who aren't busy tonight. And if history's any guide, they're horrible spellers. I do want to take a moment to talk about Miami's business school students, humble bunch that they are here. You're making me feel good. Thank you. As arts and science grads, they may be your friends, but let's be real about them. They are also our rivals. They are our rivals, like the Cubs and the Cardinals are rivals, like the Wolverines and the Buckeyes are rivals, like the Steelers and the Browns are rivals. I would say just like the Miami Redhawks and the OU Bobcats are rivals, but let's be serious, we never think about them. And here's my first lesson for you guys this evening. Rivals can be incredibly useful. Life is more fun when you have each other. And so when I mock the business school graduates, I do so with love. We need our rivals to motivate us, to skulk away from after they've beaten us, the better to plot our horrible vengeance, and also to mock in defeat as we rub their ugly faces in their pitiful inadequacy. I just tell the truth. I have a chip on my shoulder as an arts and science graduate, and so should you. As a fellow arts and science graduate, I want to prepare you for something. For the first 5 or 10 years after you graduate here, you're going to find yourself calling your business major friends for career advice, asking how they've become so successful. But hold on. For the next 10 or 20 years after that, they'll be calling you for life advice, asking you how it is that you've become so happy. It's true. Now, my advice to you guys is don't tell them. Let them suffer, the stupid business majors. So despite Dean Makaroff's incredibly generous and only partially true introduction, I'm sure there are many of you, parents, students, and faculty alike, who are sitting there wondering, just as my family and friends are, how this guy get to be graduation speaker? And I'm here to tell you you're right to wonder, because as I said at the outset, I'm a very unlikely graduation speaker. For starters, Miami was not, as the dean said, my first choice. But as with many things in life that don't immediately seem providential or even wise, it has become one of my best choices. What was my first choice? Duke. Duke was my first choice. I applied, early decision to Duke, and when Duke declined to make an early decision about me, so began my long career of rooting against them. In college basketball and also in life. But I think thanks to Miami, I dodged a bullet, which is to say a lifetime of being one of those smug jerkwads that walks around everywhere in a Duke sweatshirt. And for that, I'm thankful. Because let's face it, my fellow Miamians, compared to us, alums from pretty much every other college are pretty damn annoying, especially when it comes to sports. Luckily, we Miamians do have a secret weapon, and I'm going to share it with you guys tonight. In the years ahead, during major college sporting events, in which Miami plays virtually no role anymore, as others around you are yelling obnoxious, nonsensical things like Hoya Saxa and Rock Chalk Jayhawk and Boiler Up, you guys just look them in the eyes and you say softly, love and honor. My message here is simple to you guys. Things happen for a reason if you act like they do. Once I got to Oxford, to Chicago, to the media business, each time, after an inevitable series of fits and starts, I was all in. Wherever you guys go next, whatever you do, whoever you marry, treat it like your first choice, and it will become just that. Another reason I'm an unlikely graduation speaker, unlike many of you here tonight, I wasn't exactly an academic standout. This is true. I was arrested at orientation. Arrested but never convicted. That's a line from Stripes you guys can ask your parents about. As far as I know, campus security is still looking for a guy who matches my loose description, circa 1984, but who allegedly provided the name Eric Schmidt to officers, which means luckily they're looking for a young, skinny guy with long, dark hair. And I'm told if anything does go down tonight that Dean Makaroff has my back. So I will admit it to you, I was a fair to middling student who for much of my time here on campus majored in what you might call uptown studies, evening classes. My mascot, as it were, was not a Red Hawk or even a Redskin. My mascots were the late Dave Osborne at the now defunct Ozzy's in the balcony, Terry and Andy at Skipper's, Ned Stevenson and all the great young men and women at Bagel and Deli, and the one and only Will Wiseman. At that time at Saloon, and obviously today at Brick Street. And Will let me in last night, and that's why I keep having to go for the water. I tell you guys this because as you will come to find, life after Miami will quickly become about more than just your grade point average or your ability to perform on tests. And if you're not a horrible person, it will also become about more than just your career or your bank account. A good life, you see, is about people, about making authentic connections. It's social. But as Miami grads, you already know this. In my experience, everyone who graduates from here does so with an honorary PhD in socializing, in people. In fact, the young Miami grads who work at our office in Chicago are among the best people we have. They show up with smiles on their faces, ready to pitch in, to collaborate, and to have fun with one another and with the jerks who went to other schools. They have a special sauce that's impossible to measure in GPA or net worth. They have a lust for life that can't be quantified and also can't be missed. In fact, Angie at Top Deck last night for the lemon drop thing, you had that lust for life going on. Thank you very much. It's in the water, this lust for life here in Oxford, or maybe it's in the green beer. You guys have this special sauce. We have this special sauce. And what I came to realize after leaving campus is that Miami and college itself is a colossal privilege. It's a time that is, for many of us, about being allowed to live happily in between being a kid and an adult, in between being dependent and independent, and in between Dayton and Cincinnati. And in between a life of indulgence and a life of purpose. And it's now time, I'm sorry to tell you this, to tip the scales toward purpose and independence. If college represents a time of gaining new things, new friends, new skills, and a new appreciation for late night food, graduation, this represents an opportunity to leave some things behind. And so I also encourage you guys to think tonight about what you might want to leave behind when you leave Oxford. And I'm not just talking about that couch that's seen everything. We all had one. I'm talking about things like self-indulgence, some of the bad habits we might have acquired in college, juuling, anyone? Cheese fries. And I'm also talking about relying on your parents for everything, from your cell phone plan to what to do with your life. Thank you, parents. I'm sure that your parents, like mine, are probably well-intentioned, wonderful people. Let's face it, they're you, but older, softer, and very poorly dressed. Although they clearly want what's best for you, they don't know what's best for you. They don't. Only you do. Trust your gut. If it feels like a bad idea, literally, if it feels bad deep down in your body, it's probably a bad idea, albeit a lot of fun. That said, I don't want to discourage you from feeling uncomfortable or from having uncomfortable conversations. Too often today, we simply avoid having tough talks and taking on tough tasks. But most of the best things in life and most of the best talks happen when we allow ourselves to get out of our depth, to stretch, and to put up with a little discomfort. Don't be afraid to go there. And by go there, I mean talking to your crazy uncle about politics at Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's true, I got away with being a fair to middling student who graduated 6 months late and who spent too much time uptown. But it's not a path I would recommend to future Miamians, unless, of course, their goal is eventually to be happy in life, successful in business, and someday a graduation speaker. And so now here's the final reason I'm an unlikely graduation speaker for you guys. The last time my parents, who are here tonight, came to Oxford to see me graduate in May of 1988, I didn't actually graduate. To which I say, thanks for nothing, Professor Jack Keegan, who knew when he told me I'd have to write a paper for my independent study in the greenhouse, I'd have to actually write a paper. So there was an asterisk next to my name in the graduation program, and it wasn't there to denote magna cum laude. I remember this moment so well. My parents are still traumatized. So they were not happy. And my grandmother, on the other hand, just shrugged and laughed. She was like, whatever. And so, Nana, I still thank you for that. Thank God for our grandparents. When I emailed one of my former professors, Stephen Bauer, about this honor, he replied succinctly and pointedly, "It's good to be the prodigal son." You guys remember the prodigal son story? The kid leaves home with his entire inheritance, spends it recklessly, and then somehow returns to a hero's welcome. For some of us, it sounds a little bit like college. But let's be honest, the prodigal son was kind of a jerk, and so was I. And yet, the prodigal son's father, who had every right to be angry, chose not to be. Instead, he gazed upon his son, and he told him he loved him and that he'd always loved him and that he was glad he was home. Which reminds me, of course, of Dean Makaroff. I love you too, Dean Makarov. But really, it reminds me of my own parents, and perhaps it reminds you of yours, who despite your missteps, your wrong turns, your prodigal moments, have stood by you on your journey. Thanks, Mom and Dad, and thanks, moms and dads. And though you may not know it just yet, Miami will stand with you too, because your relationship with this university and with everything it's awakened in you is only just beginning. What matters from here forward is not the great choice you made 4 years ago to attend this wonderful school, or even any of the other bad choices you also made along the way. Because let's face it, who among us hasn't taken the wrong class, dated the wrong person, or spun the shot wheel at CJ's after midnight? What matters now is the choice you make to embrace it. All of it, the good, the bad, even the ugly, and to embrace the sum total of all that you've gained by being here these 4 or 4.5 or 5 or however many years. The great news is, I do stand here before you as living proof that as long as you don't let go of your Miami experience, it won't ever let go of you. Thank you, and love and honor. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. You're a wonderful example of what can be accomplished starting with a Miami liberal arts education as a foundation, right? And so one of the things we do is we always bring back, have a tradition of bringing back successful alumni. And so, as Scott said, not the #1 student in your class, but a #1 individual right here. So he's at the top of his game. And now to the major focus of our ceremony, which is to recognize our students. Shortly, we're going to ask our students to come forward to receive a diploma cover, have their names read, and cross the stage to receive our congratulations. So you heard me, I said receive a diploma cover. That's because after Scott was here, we decided not to put the diplomas in there until after we knew they graduated. So the major focus of our ceremony today is to recognize our students, right? So shortly we're going to ask our students to come across the stage, but when they do, we want the parents to be able to hear their name, right? And so I'm certain that your graduate's name, when it's read, you're going to feel like cheering and celebrating, especially now that Scott's got you all geeked up. What I need you to do is to stay with me, because if you start cheering and celebrating, the next person is not going to be able to hear their graduate's name, and then they're going to be disappointed. So please hold all your applause and celebration until all the names have been read, and we'll have one big celebration and a big hoopla, okay? So now it is with great pride that I present to you the graduates from the College of Arts and Science. Would our student speaker and our 2 student ambassadors first rise, process off the stage, and receive their diplomas?
Max Carter Leverage.
Hannah Elizabeth Shepard.
Okay. Now, at this time, I'd like to call to the podium Dr. James Orris to present our master's degree recipients.
Good evening. On behalf of the Graduate School, it's my honor to acknowledge the accomplishments of our students here today who have completed their programs of graduate study. Will all of the candidates for the master's degree please stand as you're able? I have the pleasure to present the candidates for the master's degree. The master's degree requires a minimum of 30 credit hours of coursework and scholarly activities beyond the baccalaureate degree. These rigorous programs prepare our graduates to enter the workforce as advanced professionals or for further academic study, and I present them to you with pride. The marshals will now escort the candidates to the platform so that we may recognize their academic achievement and so that Dean Makaroff and I can congratulate them.
Megan Alyssa Young.
Ricardo Angelo Richardson.
Anjali B.K.
Elizabeth Weeks.
Morgan Allison Liddick.
Amanda Lauren Leslie Harmon.
Amanda Horn.
Jessica Marie Hutchinson.
Wendy De Leon.
Morgan Olivia Henry.
Na Soon.
Hannah Louise Gillespie.
Palabi Tia Melisina.
Kate Lauren Randall.
Joshua Aaron Schusler.
Kelsey Louise Foreign.
Akran Mahmoud Hassan.
Monica Bridget Barrett.
Logan A. Smith.
John Tenga Tenga.
William Thomas Abbott.
Alexa Jordan Ascari.
Kimberly Lynn Jacobs Beck.
Carolyn Grace Deinhardt.
Megan Mary Moore.
Allison Jolene Pricing.
Taylor Che.
Kyle Robert Chance.
Noah James Watson.
James Ross LaPaula.
Gregory P. Cook Jr.
Caleb Stidham.
Stacy Hatetrix.
Jad Thomas Miller.
Jennifer Lee Harshberger.
Rebecca Ann Flynn.
Tyne Davis Powers.
Jacqueline Elaine Wagner.
Dana Howard.
Savannah Dean Posick.
Nicholas Wayne Darby.
Rachel Elizabeth Spar.
Hannah Patrice Bluebaugh.
Hannah Lowe Kempf.
Margot Estelle Breidenbaugh.
Ian Omar Castro.
Erin Nicole Johnson.
Jessica Ann Marshall.
Heather Jean Summer.
Marina Salnikova. Jace Nicholas Eversole. Emily Jane O'Brien. Gabriella Marie Pichotti. Kinsey Madison Cantrell.
Please join me in congratulating all those receiving master's degrees.
And now I ask the marshals to direct all the undergraduate degree recipients to the stage so that we may honor their achievements.
John Kavanaugh Latimer.
Shannon Suzanne Golden.
Zachary Allen Digby.
Cassandra Diane Colton.
Pierce Nicholas Couric.
Amanda Taylor Furco.
Samantha Jo Marshall.
Donald Yancey Haiti.
Susanna Lois Smith.
Margaret Elizabeth Bach.
Carlin Marsh.
Lindsay Renee Cusson.
Emily Weber.
Elise Nicole Campbell.
Anthony Francis Stenger.
Rachel Lavin Baker.
Rosalind H. Penny.
Lan Fung Dao,
Sarah Jean Landkowski.
Alexis Michelle Barnholm,
Jessica Lee Auer.
Megan M. Franklin,
Ellison Christine Luthi.
Sarah Lynn DeCosmo,
Robert Joseph O'Brien.
Abigail Linda Lors,
Patrick Kilbane O'Brien.
Ellie L. Marshinki,
Karen Geraldine Morris Toledo.
Haley Madison Barr,
Jose Javier Padilla.
Kelly Rose Minuskin,
Sagar Dulani.
Laura Catherine Dardig,
Ayesh Ruwanka Pereira.
Alexandria Rose Dolbin,
Michael Joseph Stella.
Johnny Mondoro,
Margaret Mary Wynn.
Benjamin Young Bassino,
Sarah Catherine Roth.
Robert Hathaway,
Alicia Christina Saul.
Sean Robert Basil,
Zachary Ross Mossholder.
Lee Ariane DeCrest Carter,
Spencer Douglas Polly.
Tyler Aaron Meyer,
Stephanie Marie Schmidt.
Zane Austin Marsh,
Patrick James O'Malley.
Dominic Michael Kennedy,
Jacob Samuel Stoller.
Alexandra Nicole Paul,
Rachel Jean Wilkinson.
Maya DeGennaro,
Elizabeth Lauren Norse.
Haley Nicole Olvera,
Emily May Patton.
Allison Catherine Rutherford,
Christina Marie Spears.
Catherine Rose Zedalis,
Jiahao Swen.
Carrie Ann Nostrand,
Yunfan Wang.
Hannah Renee Alarmarnzi,
Dongyang Firo Liu.
Jake Bora Bobrovsky,
Hanwei Zhao.
Emily K. Brennan,
Jenna Elizabeth Selick.
Tassie Marie Hammond,
Naomi Elizabeth Wyatter.
Mallory Blake Owen,
Anahita Deanna Modi Rusta.
Lauren Marie Grossheim,
Mangjian Z.
Melissa Myring Napke,
Mulan Jam.
Molly McDonough,
Rachel Doris Wydra.
Megan Lee Galloway,
Madeline Claire Zick.
Kayla Alexis Brown,
Madeline Grace Burke.
Anne Elizabeth Husing,
Martha Peeler McCloy.
Courtney Marie Brenner,
Olivia Claire Leahy.
Taylor Caitlin Fate,
Lindy Eris Latham.
Catherine Claire Riccatelli,
Joshua Shane Trimboli.
Samantha Nicole Burbank,
Nicole Lucille Michaud.
Annalie Marie Brown,
Matthew Davis McCarty.
Rebecca Ann Huff,
Colton Michael Tolles.
Alicia Michaela Dahlman,
Callaway Henry Skorsky.
Melissa Ruth English,
Philip Ernest Lunt.
Megan Elizabeth Lamont,
Raymond Francis Leggett IV.
Teresa Louise Roy,
Nicole Allison Laking.
Samuel David Phillips,
William Chase Wagner.
Alexander Elliott Hale,
Peter James Brechting.
Rachel Renee Hallman,
Rebecca Mary Raig.
Kirsten Marie Eisman,
Carrie Ann Elise Cummings.
Gabrielle DeStefano,
Clay Williams Sneed.
Adam Eaton,
Daniel P. McCabe.
Emily Elizabeth Eaton,
Austin Richard Narr.
Jordan Leonard Corral,
Haley Alyssa Atkins.
Samuel George Colleran,
Andrew Spencer Zubek.
Karina Beltran-Kellert,
Julianne Lynn Trester,
Madison Pauline Holbein,
Madeleine S. Wood,
Paige Elaine Friedman,
Emma Jeffrey Gaudet,
Fuyang Goal,
John Thomas Malone,
Sydney Kathleen Bell,
Lucy Rose Davis,
Laura Suzanne Holmes,
Marinda Brooke Mason,
Catriona Louise Bowie,
Anna Elizabeth Melberg,
Nicolette Jasek,
Catherine Lee Melberg,
Victoria Claudia Morsinski,
Kathleen Elizabeth Parker,
Megan Lynn Day,
Gwendolyn Venezia,
McKenna Catherine Turk,
Stephen Adam McGee,
Kaylin Marie Harris,
Martha Louise Carter,
Shelby Louise May Strayer,
Andrew Shahid Corey,
Hannah Morkin,
Grant Alexander Reams,
Grace Ann Dills,
Samuel James Smiley,
Catherine Grayson Ehrman,
John Richard Pace,
Allison Christine Roth,
Matthew Wang Klein,
Connor Nicholas Pavon,
Inma Sumaita,
Sarah Ann Emery,
Monica Lynn Worden,
Brandon Matthew Fogel,
Tristan Sky Levitt,
Madeline Claire Burke,
Joy Kiesler Hartfield,
Jose Miguel Jacobo,
Haley Ann Hughie,
Grace Marie Hawkins,
Sydney Beth Starkweather,
Kyle Javier Heinlein,
Lauren Catherine Smetzer,
Christina May Bauer,
Emily Aaron Stewart,
Nicole Rochelle Canos,
Matthew Vincent Caldwell,
Kaylin Elizabeth Nestrick,
Benjamin Lawrence Gilbert,
Mallory Elizabeth Krebs,
Sung Lee,
James Donald Culata,
Daniel Reed Ruth,
Tushar Bhatia,
Ian Redding,
Amanda Green,
Ashley Marie Overby,
Cassidy Heather Brosey,
Spencer Thomas Nay,
Kelly Marie Gallagher,
Megan Elizabeth Ritter,
Elizabeth Young Carpenter,
Mackenzie Jillian Jasper Zellner,
Margaret Lucille Callahan,
Katie A. Pollock,
Trevor Christopher Gilbert,
Abigail Grace Mutter,
Hunter Klein Finella,
Sarah Elizabeth Nelter,
Amjad Singh Hadi,
Lindsay States,
Tyler Harrison Gillette,
Joshua Andrew Rutowski,
Alina Aniki
Monica
Kukula,
Monica Carolina Medvedik,
Audrey Michelle Channon,
Carissa Marie Timmer,
Jennifer Rowe,
Chloe Schaefer,
Lucas Scott Adams,
Max Philip Schulman,
Nicholas Eric Dudenhofer,
Preston Thurner,
Hunter Lawrence Gazda,
Jesse Song,
Connor Jasek Hulsman,
Emily Elizabeth Pearson,
Catherine Emma Ash,
William Caleb Yee,
Mackenzie Carolyn Rist,
Austin Scott Langton,
Monique Liana Boer,
Mackenzie May Yaki,
Emily Elaine Grisida,
Amber Luna Williams,
Bradley Seth Ernest,
Claire Eileen Tracy,
Alec Michael Green,
Catherine Hunter Ross,
Michelle Lee Demkowski,
Nicholas Anthony Paterniti,
Samantha Roz Asma,
Arden James Reinhardt,
Michaela Marie Haney,
Jesse Lynn Riley,
Grace Catherine Jackson,
Minna A. Onken,
Morgan Neal,
Caroline Jolie Noble,
Gabriela Angela Di Cristoforo,
Sarah Ann Wool,
Allison Grace Van Twisk,
Nachiket Potinai,
Aubrey Rebecca Klosterman,
Jerry T. Shepard III,
Lindsay Elise Gregerson,
Elizabeth Rose Yates,
Jennifer Angela Fisher,
Jamie Lee Spears,
Lujak Garen Baker,
Emma Ray Pennington,
Brandon Ronald Cheney,
Madeline Mitchell,
Jacob Robert Johnson,
Jessica Louise Shields,
Andrew Parker Mills,
Autumn R. Harriger,
Joseph D. Chirello,
Margaret Avenel Schaller,
Bennett Jackson Kellogg,
Julia Ann Burke Pear,
Danielle Page Heil,
Clarissa A. Robert,
Jeffrey Nathaniel Colvin,
Tessa Elizabeth Lamborg Rolanowski,
Benjamin Scott Cotter,
Connor Holloran,
Patrick Francis Shanahan,
Lorelei Margaret Lang,
Samir Philip Curry,
Hunter O'Hare,
Colin Patrick McDonough,
Nathan Timothy Stegner,
Catherine Ann Bacon,
Ryan Thomas Byrne,
Bonnie Rosemary Mybers,
Edward A. Derrico,
Alexa Sylvia Del Rizgo,
Nathan William Bubash,
Sarah Lindsay Jones,
Amber Nicole Simmons,
Boris Joshua Schwarzenbach,
Brittany Lynn Nordhaus,
Charles Daniel Goodwin III,
Samantha Marie Miller,
Mackenzie Blake Howard,
Connor Snyder,
Adam Michael Goodrow,
Jennifer Joan Schaff,
Chris Charles Horman,
Tiffany Amanda Ridenauer,
Thomas Grubb,
Kayla Ann Love,
Daniel Lawrence Baker,
Michael Blake Suponic,
Megan Ann Flynn,
Nicholas Gabrielle Orlando,
Samuel James Kodotsky,
Jack Alexander Srail,
Adam Ross Claw,
Runchi Wang,
Nathaniel Ross Friday,
Bai Chen Zhang,
Ryan Christopher Gallenstein,
Shannon Alexis Shamizi,
Grace Judith Guillen,
Shay Robert Vogelsong,
Haley Nicole Ferguson,
Julia Keel Kerr,
Lindsay Page Johnson,
Andrew Michael Burr,
Emma Lucille Westella,
Andrew Wallace Sobel,
Anna Nicole Glantz,
Christopher Daniel Nagel,
Thomas Melville McNamara Jr.,
Elizabeth Catherine Shannon,
Thomas Hugh Keeney,
Lindsay Selman,
Kimberlyn Renee Cooper Miller,
Jennifer Alessandra Stable,
Meredith Lee Cromer,
Emily Elizabeth Peepers,
Curran Michelle Hart,
Carly Pritchard Seyerveld,
Lorraine Christine Campbell,
Andrea Christine Lee,
Mary Sloan Chapman,
Celeste Margaret LaFleur,
Caitlin N. Corbicero,
Timothy Lee McCarthy,
Hannah Elizabeth Gons,
Michael A. Manginelli,
Mariah Ann Christensen,
Terry Thomas Tate,
Gianna Delarmy,
Hannah Elizabeth Russell,
Catherine Ashley Steelman,
Sydney Michelle Stacy,
Jamie Marie Stewart,
Catherine Eileen Cruspy,
Jared Cole Callahan,
Madeline Louise Franchuk,
Mita Badwardi,
Andrea Morgan Luce,
Morgan Wynn,
Megan Michelle Connors,
Avnika Bali,
Bridget Noel Legale,
Gwendolyn Marie Thomas,
Grace Christine Strasser.
Jacob Valette Dirksen.
Aaron Maloney Sharkey.
Clarissa Ann Hansen.
Christina Mary Murray.
Emma Catherine Jakey.
Abigail Nicole Slagle.
Jordan Marie Halbauer.
Amanda Marie Myring.
Haley Nicole Hamilton.
Emily Kathleen O'Connor.
Nicole Golub.
Morgan Catherine Quinnell.
Romy Garby.
Carolina Ulasevich.
Alexandra S. Ball.
Amy Jessica Miller.
Catherine Seaton Hackett.
Bethany Brianne Renstrom.
Kayla Nicole Herman.
Claire Marie Williams.
Stephen Alvin Gillette.
Brianne Catherine Moore.
Caitlin Moore McKenna.
Jordan Alicia Brady.
Aldo Dawson Felis.
Catherine Mary Burgess.
Keely Chantel Dunham Atkins.
Chengya Soon.
Sana Marie Pugh.
Noelle McDonough Weber.
Lindsay Marie Kober.
Caitlin Lee Thompson.
Aaron Philip Kavamura.
Catherine Marie Sterniski.
Jonathan August Reiter.
Duncan Elizabeth Stewart.
Cameron Clark Lodge.
Olivia Gale Ryan.
Natasha Louise Harris.
Jill Adeline Stinson.
Morgan Ashley Wogenstall.
Anna Claire Elizabeth Kister.
Joshua Scott Anzalone.
Kelly Marie Sunderman.
Madison Elaine Ittel.
Alexander Michael Shum.
Angelina Marie Kluznik.
Olivia Neely O'Dole.
Joseph Patrick Canavan.
Hannah Rose Schmidt.
Margaret Elizabeth Kruth.
Chelsea Morgan Rosenberg.
Samuel Lewis Hunter.
Olivia Ann Murphy.
Brian Thomas Wood.
Mary Catherine Dator McCarthy.
Adam William Eggert.
Amanda Marie Smith.
Q-Tae Kim.
Joshua David Richter.
Jessica Guncheski.
Brian Nicholas Mashni.
Sarah Helen Edmonds.
Kyle John Powers.
Nicole Morgan Briganti.
Kyle Francis Page.
Edward Charles Crable.
Seamus Markey.
Sonia Bhatti.
Erin Marie Mannix.
Savannah Nicole Berger.
Pierce James Wagner.
Joseph John Busamra.
Kaylee Shania Snow.
Jacob Carnwright Hallion.
Justin Edward Poth.
Abigail Lynn Hogan.
Kelly Nicole Mason.
Ian Jones.
Sophia Teresa Rafferty.
Kayla Hauser.
Elise Marie Leonard.
Sophie Patrice Kirtley.
Caitlin Jane Finnessy.
Alexandra Ray Bergston.
Jana Marie Cable.
Marcella Francis Sarah.
McKenna Grace Rudy.
Claudia M. Chadwell.
Megan Sue Mills.
Hannah Claire Quick.
Jessica Elizabeth Neal.
Claire Maylon Curtis.
Natalie Lauren Neitz.
Casey Dillon Dozier.
Leah Renee Kovac.
Harrison Pierre Graydon.
Lindsay Nicole Laird.
Michael Lee Nichols.
Hannah Elizabeth Shirley.
Quinton James Gilbert.
Olivia Catherine Wonick.
Shen Dong.
Erin Nell Pickford.
Hui Zhang.
Rachel Marie Reeves.
Allison Ann Dillinger.
Jack William Ryan.
Sylvie Badrami.
Sarah Gabriella Pizzoa.
Leah Gabriella Veltri.
Madeline Albert.
Rikita A. Chowdhury.
Sarah Michael Coase.
Hannah Nicole Payton.
Eleanor Monahan McLeod.
Eileen Mary Curran.
Erin Marie McGovern.
Riley Sharon Blue.
Jonathan Jeffress Shilene.
Samantha Lynn Marquardt.
Sierra Rose Semko.
Emily Michelle Ulrey.
Ross Alexander Mother.
Victoria Lynn Shulbinski.
Joseph Michael Marin.
Elizabeth Catherine Badd. Dodd.
Jacob Peter Whirling.
Aaron Dodd.
Ryan Christopher Wilms.
Emma Kathleen Demopoulos.
Dean Michael Ahrens.
Erin Christine McClintock.
Eleanor R. L. Raker.
Alexander Ryan Gunn.
Hong Gao.
Lydia Grace Tressel.
Sharif Nasser Owusu.
Savannah Lynn Balweg.
Matthew Zigman.
Peter Michael Jufrey.
Zachary Robert Hazard.
Camden Lucas Henry.
Andrew Enan Brown.
Adriana Alexandria Grebenkin.
Cole Masiro Vincent.
Danny Lynn Fleming.
Bradley John Boner.
Kelly Jean Printy.
Elaine Page Seidler.
Mohammed Haider.
Angela Bowley.
Kofe Ijepong.
Rachel Seraphin.
Lawrence C. Gardner Jr.
Kayla Dawn Sansom.
Alexis Donnelly Hatton.
Grant Harrison Vaness.
Sarah Christine Wickham.
Paul Stephen Van Wellingham.
Jacqueline Lee Gustomski.
Christian McGee.
Daniel Philip Isikoff.
Alyssa Nicole Presley.
Konstantinos Andreas Katsouras.
Brianne Lauren Safer.
Addison J. Caruso.
Marie Ann Yamada Kilaleya.
Christopher Brian Sharon.
Madison Page Scott.
Zhenzin Gong.
Rachel Elizabeth Wiesner.
Gefan Guan.
Kevin Michael Summers.
Mitchell Partush Lancet.
Hannah Easton Volmer.
Will Francis Hughes.
Olivia Eleanor Wetch.
Nicholas James Arman.
Hannah Taylor.
Morgan Paul Myers.
Kathleen Grace Conley.
Catherine Grace Kowalski.
Rachel Catherine Smith.
Kenzie A. Delaney.
Christina Marie Randall.
Megan Marie Rooks.
Bryn Nicole McElroy.
Sierra Renee Lawson.
Dana Christine Johnson.
Zachary A. Fields.
Amani Smith Elizabeth.
Cecilia Jane Burtis.
Miranda Lee Pell. Miranda Lee Pillay.
Emily Linnea Humhuls.
Nicholas Noah Shermis.
Andres Vincent Durando.
Xian Shen.
Elisa Roselle Cook.
Yuanji Lei.
Kelly Marie O'Brien.
Emma Faye Vander Stoop.
Ashley Diana Kument.
Samantha Ann Wace.
Catherine Lynn Coverdale.
Caroline Quillian White.
David Kramer.
Rachel Allison Zetwick.
Hannah Christine Jolly.
Daniel Allen Schertzinger.
Timothy Leo Falve.
Ashley Nicole Martin.
Alice Sevan.
Amanda Ray Ziegler.
Evelyn Minnie Gulla.
Eli Lewis Schlonsky.
Tiffany Love Campbell.
Brian A. Knopf.
Vincent Elaine Fabi.
Derek Arthur Roberts.
Devon Neil Golden.
Sumia Giresh Trivedi.
Brianna Marie Snooty.
Shannon Michelle Powell.
Samantha Louise Nora King.
Laura Mae Fitzgerald.
Angela Lynette Sargent.
Brennan Lee Kaufman.
Joelle Lorraine Newman.
Heather Marie Statt.
Raven Sheree Gates.
Tiago Z. Schaefer.
Morgan Amir Mendenhall.
Benita Tseng Lei.
Jeffrey Allen Gord.
Hong Ting Wong.
James Kerrigan Hodges.
Abigail Aaron Weisfeld.
Alexis Brittany Hill.
Alexandra Judith Gaggy.
Chantel Monique Gates.
Jordan Matthew Rice.
Christopher Ryan Halls.
Taylor Abigail Tinnen.
Thomas Aaron Crone.
Grace Allison Moody.
Keelan Denver Haynes.
Vinoan Devpaul Vinsley.
Brant Whitaker Imhoff.
Chong Kai Wong.
Andrew Katko.
Taylor Ruth Welch.
Alex John Closter.
Kirsten Stephanie Beck.
Roger Ho.
Kristen Elizabeth Nagy.
Zuri Adele Davis.
Madison Brooke Witherell.
Emina Chantel Belt.
Adam James Turkelson.
Erica B. Poe.
Rihanna Ray Wessels.
Alyssa Marie Young.
Yueling Ju.
Allison Eileen Buddy.
Leanne Kovaleski.
Kendall Kennan.
Kenya Idalis Viescas.
Saisha Sade White.
Colin Douglas Pyle.
Alicia Dawn Johnson.
Andrew Robert Killens.
Chloe Renee Kno.
Thomas Ray Kaufman.
Thomas Sean Gurinskus.
Chutong Lee.
Rachel Ann Begovich.
Munir Mukhtar.
Brian William Carter.
Mei Jen Liu.
Joseph Allen Archambault.
Shi Chen.
Calman Oliver Pager II.
Oliver Clark Young.
Madison Jewel Bogard.
Evan Robert Miller.
Elizabeth Jane Glover.
Catherine Whitmer Smith.
Hallie Rose Danielle Kaplan.
Hunter Michelle Taylor.
Alexis Jordan Mecco Bowes.
Marin Kathleen Osternaut.
Blake Richard Ballard.
Julie Carol McLean.
J. Allen Yeager III.
Christina Lynn Walsh.
Christoph Tomsick.
Morgan Marie Walterscheid.
Riley Cooper Woolston.
Peter Evan Brown.
Jackson Stephen Fairweather.
Yu Chung Jong.
Cormac. Colin Edward Gehin.
Dan Yu Wong. No,
Alex-
Dan Yu Yong.
Alex Taylor Kulabo.
慧苗 Zhang,
Claire Catherine Stratton.
孟楚熙,
Maya Danielle Alexander.
Yijing Sun,
Afua Kwakewa Yeboah.
Jiayu Wu,
Brittany Nicole Klenk.
Danielle M. Kunkel,
Rebecca Garcia de Jesus.
Connor Farrell,
Tasha Jane Anderson.
Austin Charles Worrell,
Hu Zhe Shea.
Chase J. Shelton,
Joshua Harrington.
Isabella A. Seberg,
Jacob Andrew Busansensi.
Keiko Wu Wilkins,
Christopher Allen Beecroft.
Taylor Alexandra Schultz,
Joseph Scott Miller.
Catherine Hannah Widener,
Trevor John Home.
Eli G. Euro,
Ryan Lawrence Alt.
Mingye Yang,
Ryan Joseph Compiti.
Lauren Grace Martin,
Abigail Grace Hermish.
Gabrielle Simon,
Kimberly Ann Irwin.
John Charles Redmond,
Duran Clark.
Michael Anthony Redmond,
Arius Devon Johnson.
Thomas Allen Seebacher,
Madeline Ann Lapola.
Hannah Lauren Mark,
Gabrielle Maria Fernandez.
Emily Susan Taylor,
Rain Shelby Lab.
Megan Elizabeth Peters,
Eva E. Demeropoulos.
Alyssa Grace Vitolo,
Nancy Thetis Powers.
Shijan Young,
Ariana Gregory Frederick.
Zejong Liu,
Sydney Brooke Weiss.
Elizabeth Rose Montgomery,
Lauren Michelle Ramsey.
Kristen Marie Weisgerber,
Emily Kate Richards.
Rebecca Wetzel,
James Arnold Cruz.
Chu Ben Lin,
Josephine Nakimson Ekwell.
Yu Shang Li,
Matthew Stephen Brigham.
Danyang Li, Tianyang Zhang,
Evan Francis Doran.
Yunyi Wang,
Andrea Lynn Back.
Kushin Yu,
Rachel Marie Cahall.
Amelia Mara Vasquez,
Justin Thomas Crooks.
Dingmin Yan,
Christine Yasna Camper.
Jiyuan Li,
Megan G. Mooney.
Wei Chen Zhou,
Chase Alexander Engel.
Hannah Lee Zirkle,
Andrew Scott Kennedy.
Leah Marie Wilzinski,
Hannah Catherine Johnson.
Ting Ting Yang,
Olivia Grace Blaha.
Ziwei Yang, Wang,
Sarah Nicole Emig.
Margaret Mary Burke,
Kayla Ann Hansen.
Emily Ann Stacy III,
Maria Elizabeth Zoller.
Jack Ronald Haney,
Isabel Ann Hansen.
Margaret Louise Ebling,
Nicole Taylor Keegan.
Timothy Reese,
Raquel Carrera.
Zachary Thomas Logsden,
Alexis Dakota Sunday.
Kaylee Elizabeth Shunk,
Andrea Nicole Nicholson.
Sarah Elizabeth Childs,
Elizabeth Marion Biesecker.
Allison K. Lance.
Andrew Christian Hoover.
Wendy Lee Shoemaker.
Alexander William Head.
Michelle Taylor Nowak.
Brittany Hess.
Lee Dearborn Shibley II.
Isabel Marie Jones.
Patrick Burns Shepner.
Lang Ding.
Taylor Page Martin.
Nolan Gunther Hamlin.
James Michael Dudley.
Catherine Amelia Evers.
Allison Sarah Foster.
Zahir Ahmed Chowdhury.
Abigail Catherine May.
Jordan Michelle Bianco.
Sydney June Skibinski.
Sayri Elissa Kripke.
Emily Nicole Plaver.
Jacob Austin Bishop.
Paige Heinlein.
Erin Mackenzie Gray.
Addison Lang Schwaller.
Christine Carol Daly.
Maria N. Taylor.
Abigail Jacqueline Berry.
Curtis Ed Patterson.
Cheyenne Maria Lewis.
Mitchell Harris Smelser.
Rachel Marie Brand.
Lindsay Carol Wagner.
Cynthia Lee Devine. Daniel
Gabrielle Aquea Enti.
Daniel James Jason.
Janae Marie Tanner.
Isabel Thordis Held.
Devin Brown Schumann.
Araceli Medina Castillo.
Emily Elizabeth Williams.
Elizabeth Nicole Belling.
Rachel Marie Wimsat.
Daniel Edward Bussell.
Shane Wyatt Mart.
Stephen M. Corwin.
Tatiana Elizabeth Pavlov.
Gordon Taylor.
Gabrielle Nicole Kahn.
Yumi Christina McGregor.
Carly Ream.
Taylor Felice Jones.
Flavia Stanton.
Caitlin Marie Beer.
Olivia Quigley Galloway.
Marissa Sarah Sherman.
Kaiwan Lowe.
Margaret Catherine Krebs.
Ramy Malcolm Wilcox.
Anjuli Brenna Pryor.
Geneva Hope Momsen.
Sydney Annette Hartman.
Tiji Wong.
Kylie Elizabeth Curtin.
Tian Chu.
Maeve Holly Cutts.
Tian Zhao.
Elizabeth Catherine Hayworth.
Yikun Liang.
Summer Kristen Weinberg.
Mingyu Wang.
Anna Elizabeth Nicholson.
Jiayuan Lin.
Jaylyn Elizabeth Homan. Oh, Jacqueline Elizabeth Holan.
Catherine Louise Simon.
Shalyn Christine Hatcher.
Jeremy Jake Villa.
Sarah Elizabeth Mosby.
Warren Dean Reynolds.
Benjamin Corey Cushing.
Connor William Puckett.
Casey Andrew Crow.
Rebecca Lynn Wyma.
Lucas Joseph Elfrick.
Anna Verben Chippa.
Danielle Michaela Reimers.
Cameron Derek Vasquez.
Bao Chum Lei Huang.
Megan Rose Zimmerer.
Sarah Jean Kammer.
Abigail Nicole Meckley.
Megan Elizabeth Ashbrook.
Emma Catherine Wade.
June Hyuk James Hu.
Jonathan Michael Renfrey.
Catherine Lindsay Chu Ying Hanley.
John David Mead.
Angela Miyuki Day.
Connor Neil O'Kane.
Kaylee Paige Bombach.
Xiaonan Shu.
Liam S. Wong.
Boyi Chen.
Yushi Wang.
Bong An.
Jing Yan Ho.
Shutong Duan.
Bohan Zhao.
Berenice Villalobos.
Efstratios Devayos.
Lindsay Ann Wantuck.
Juchi Liu.
Caitlin Elizabeth Wallace.
Kyle James
Lan Huang.
Buter. Sorry.
Lan Wang Suni.
Christopher Andrew Gilmore.
Colin Mitchell Harris.
Kathleen Elizabeth Baldwin.
Ryan W. Sims.
Ellen Chiegaris.
Matthew Cole Stewart.
Kristen Danielle Kirsten Alexander.
Elsa Caroline Clenny.
Siu Long.
Shongyuan Young.
Sunchit Rom Arwind.
Chuhan Zhang.
Alexander Chorninki.
Ni So.
Tara Vergas.
Kathleen Virginia Wallace.
Yi Tong Ho.
Fun Lee.
Meryl F. Hawk.
Fa Wang Su.
Bo Marcello DiNardo.
Carmen Maruenda.
Carlos Eduardo Merlos.
Kenya Christina Ventura.
Dong Shu Hong.
Pon Chong Chong.
Tian Fan Wu.
Yi Jia Zhang.
Xiao Hui William Yuan.
Yi Jia Duan.
Frank Wong.
Ai Jia Duan.
Keiying Liu.
Yi Jia Yang.
Wu Lang Guo.
Yuan Chang Wang.
Brandon Anthony Balish.
Zhang Shu Li.
Beiying Chen.
Daria Lee McAllister.
Kimberly Yaachi Avekuam.
Ariana Maricela Nofio.
Yanmei Chen.
Nicholas Williams Spurgis.
The J? Okay. Katie Jallo.
Tulsi Harish Patel.
Sha Yu.
Alexis Kate Height.
Yu Hao Bao.
Melanie Ann Laflamme.
Yong Lang Fyong. Dong Yong Fing. Okay, I tried.
Madison Marie Izzard.
Maya Nesa George. Yu Tong Jung.
Nicole Marie Radish.
Muyu Suo.
Evan Elizabeth McAvania.
Fi Ya Jin.
Alexander William Barr.
Ting Zhao.
Hong Wei.
Yiwen Song.
Nan Zhao.
Wenlong Si.
Sikai Lin.
Lu Chuan Xin.
Yujing Wei.
Li Shi Kun.
Ashley Dawn Lawrence.
Chen Xiaolu.
Jennifer
Chen Lu.
Catherine Sherwood.
Riong Wang.
Wenjia Chin. Kailei Lin. Jiaming Zhang. Lujun Tong. Yu Li. Xiao Xiao Zhao. Zhangran Mei, Fong Yu, Aaron Kane Rodriguez,
Hold on, one more. Brianne Michaela Mag. All right, I have to say you all were outstanding. Very good. So now, will all the graduates please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please help me to recognize the newest graduates of the College of Arts and Science. Let it go! Outstanding. Okay, please be seated. We're in the home stretch. I know you've got a lot you want to do, and we're going to get you out of here. So in a few minutes, we're going to sing the alma mater, which can be found in the back of your program. Afterwards, the marshals will lead the platform party, the faculty, and the graduates from the arena floor. During this time, I ask that the audience please remain seated until all have recessed. Before we leave, however, I have the privilege of saying just a few closing words. When addressing you this evening, I knew there were a number of pithy quotes I could have used, many of which you probably have heard before and which offer sound and worthwhile advice. No matter what I say, it's not going to be able to compare to Scott, so you're just going to have to bear with me here. But the fact is, none of us will know what life has in store for us. What I do know is that you, our graduates, have been given an opportunity, a gift. You have been privileged to receive an excellent education from a fine institution. So instead of giving you advice, I'm going to ask you to do three things. You can consider it to be your final assignment from Miami University, hence the empty diploma covers, right? First, I ask you to remember to be grateful for the education you've received and to use it wisely. Remember those who gave you this opportunity. Your parents and your family, however you define family, are here tonight celebrating your accomplishments with great pride. Try to remember that all of our accomplishments are in some part due to the support and nurturing of others. Remember to say thank you and mean it when you say it. Second, I ask you to continue to learn and use your education to make a difference. Always keep learning. Stay curious, commit to your work, be a problem solver, and work harder than those around you. Make a difference. Have a positive impact. We're counting on you. Third, I ask you to remember us and to keep in touch with the faculty and staff who have tried to provide a rich learning environment which you could thrive and excel. We have worked hard to the best of our abilities to provide you a myriad of educational opportunities and help prepare you for a long, successful career and meaningful lives. Of course, what you do with them is up to each of you. So I'll leave you with what I always used to tell my kids when they went out the door at night. Have fun, but be smart. All right? Okay. So, congratulations, class of 2018. Good luck. So now will you please rise and join us in singing of the alma mater.